Hello, hello, everyone. There we go. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We're back for day 2 of the Vision Quest. Give everyone a couple moments to tune in. Make sure we're live. I think we're live. Yeah, there we go. I'm looking for. There it is. Oh, perfect. All right. So if whoever's here, if you want to write in the chat, how are you feeling today? Welcome. Yeah, so maybe some of you came yesterday, and those of you who didn't, and this is your first day, welcome. We're so happy to have each and every one of you. And I'll just start with doing a little recap of what we did yesterday. Yesterday's focus was the power of creating a vision, of tuning in really to taking that time during our day to tune in and listen to our inner guidance system, that the soft whispers within, and getting more clear as we identify what we truly value, what lights us up in this life. And the more clear we get on what lights us up, what we value, what we're passionate about, we start to be able to tune in in our life and start to catch and change our everyday behavior to align more with what really lights us up. And so that when we go into these meditative states, we can listen and we're more attuned to that inner voice, that already has all of this wisdom, all of this knowledge, that we can start to take those inspired action steps that's more in alignment with this inner compass. So yesterday it was we had some reflection questions of, what does your definition of success look like? Not the one conditioned by society, but what does success really look like and feel like in your body? Because the feeling of success, we can start to learn and attune to our values, what we truly, truly value in our life, what is non-negotiable, which really helps us cultivate, to attune to this deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning and purpose when we're aligned with our inner compass. We start to feel more fulfilled here and now. So it's very amazing to have a vision and to get clarity on our bigger why, what's pulling us forward in life. So when we do face challenges, which we'll go over today, we have that North Star that's pulling us forward, our bigger why, who we're here to impact, why when we go through what we go through, it's for a bigger reason. And we can start to rest into more of this trust. So yesterday, getting clear on your vision, getting clear on your why, what does success really feel like to you, a redefining of that. And then it really is, tuning into this every single day. Those old programs, it took a long time for them to be wired, into our subconscious mind. So there's so much power in repetition and creating a daily practice of, like Kelly mentioned yesterday, one of our favorite practices is to record our voice, record our vision, and you can feel that resonance inside of your body. So when you record it and then you listen to it when you're going on a walk or you're in nature or while you're just cleaning the house, and you can listen to this voice and start to attune, and it actually reprograms your mind so that you can start to feel and embrace that vision and believe it to be be true here and now. And that starts to shift and expand our whole lens of perception. And I just want to say that there is a link in the chat that Kelly mentioned earlier, that it's for the tool for today. And if you go to that link and you enter your information, you'll get the Challenge Transformer tool, that will also enter you in for 50% off for our upcoming Soul Path Accelerator course. So you'll get the tool in an email. And this is the tool we'll kind of be diving into today on how we can transform our challenges. Because yesterday, as we got clarity, as we become and get more clear, we also may be met with some resistance. So we'll go into how we can move through that today.
Yes, amazing. So that's the tool we'll be diving into today, and it's such a powerful one. So the first 30 minutes or so, we're going to be going through how to work through this tool and the power really of acceptance when we're met with resistance, and really diving into it with more of this curiosity and acceptance rather than this resistance and trying to push it away. And then the second half of the journey, we're really going to embody this and use the breath work as a tool to feel it within our body, again, to resource this within ourselves and to release. So the breath is an amazing vehicle and tool we have to use our physiology, to shift our physiology and use it as a tool as well. So we have a powerful journey for you for the last 30 minutes of this session as well. So we're super excited to share that journey with you. So today's approach, as I mentioned, is really beginning to look at what's holding you back within your life, something that's you feel maybe is blocking you from stepping fully in. So you want something, but maybe there's this pattern or this habit that keeps coming up in your life, that keeps creeping you in, and maybe you fall back into old habits or old ways that aren't in alignment with what it is you want. And so this is simply how our subconscious mind works. We consciously want something, but maybe there is a pattern or a wiring that's within our subconscious mind that is perpetuating a behavior, perpetuating a habit in our life that is keeping us stuck in our current circumstance. It's keeping us stuck playing small. It's keeping us stuck from really moving forward and creating the change that we consciously want to create in our life. So this is really the power of working with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is what actually controls 95 to 98% of our behavior on a day-to-day basis, which is incredible, because it's almost like, unless we become aware of these old habits, these patterns that are controlling our behavior, then it's like they're just running on autopilot in the background, and it's really what can keep us stuck. So this is really the power of working in this method, because we work and we address it at the very root. So rather than trying to change the behavior with force and with wanting it to be a different way, which causes this resistance within our body, we actually simply address it from the root, and we meet it with this acceptance, with this curiosity, and dive into getting a deeper understanding of why this block is really here in the first place. Because our subconscious mind, although it doesn't really work rationally like our conscious mind, it is still trying to serve us. It's trying to usually protect us and to keep us safe, or maybe it's trying to achieve what you wanted, but not in the way that the subconscious mind works. And so when we work with this method, we gain this deeper understanding of what's the desire behind this block, what's the deeper desire, and then we can begin to resource it from within, just as we did yesterday. When we can learn to self-resource this within our own being and create what it is we're truly longing for. And once we are able to create that within ourselves, the block naturally dissipates. We're able to move through it with much more ease. And this stems from acceptance, from awareness, and from understanding. And there's so much power in this method because as you address something from the root, maybe a habit or behavior that's been perpetuating in your life for a while and playing out in different aspects of your life, once you address this one thing and really give yourself this deeper desire, what it is you're truly longing for, this changes, and this is like a ripple effect into every facet of your life. So maybe, for example, maybe you've been playing small and really not stepping in with full confidence. And this is a block that's showing up, and it's showing up in different facets of your life. But once you address this, it's going to change everything. It's not only going to change your work and the clients you attract into your life, but it's going to change your relationships, your intimate relationships, your relationships in your friendships. It's going to ripple out into every single aspect. And so as we do this inner work, this is really what creates this lasting, sustainable change and growth, because we can have the best strategy in the world, but without doing this inner work, we're going to hit up against the same blocks, the same patterns, the same habits until we address the mental and emotional patterns that are actually perpetuating this behavior. So we're really addressing it from the root. And maybe some of you have noticed this. Maybe there is a habit or a circumstance that almost keeps repeating itself. It's like maybe you have a job and there's something that comes up in that specific job, and then you get a new job, but it's like the same thing presents itself again and again. And so this is really happening for our evolution. It's happening for our growth. So we can learn the lesson that this event or circumstance is presenting to us. And as we learn the lesson, we're able to move through it. So this is really the power in this. So today we're going to be diving into looking at our blocks from a new lens. So rather than resisting them or wishing they were different than they were, we begin to explore with curiosity and with acceptance. And because, as I mentioned, all of our blocks are trying to serve us at some level, and often they're trying to protect us or just to simply keep us safe. And so we want to look at, if there is something that's coming up for you, what is the deeper desire behind this block, which is what we're going to dive into today. So before we go into that, I'll just like to give an example that to ground this in. And so this is an example from my life and how this work has really helped me. And so for a while within my life, I was playing small. I was afraid of speaking in groups or showing up really even as my authentic self. I just kind of always wanted to keep the peace. I always just was in the state of agreeance, and I was not showing up as my authentic true self and using my voice in the way that felt good and authentic for me. And when I looked at this block, like why was I doing this? What is the underlying fear? Like if I were to show up exactly, as me, and this fear is that when I really sat with it, was that I would be rejected, and that I wouldn't be accepted exactly as I was. And if I even dove deeper into this, like what happens if I wasn't rejected, if I was rejected? So what's underneath that fear of rejection? And when I really dug deep, it was this fear that I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough exactly as I was. And so then looking at how can I self-resource this? Can I find a space within myself where I am enough, where I feel I am enough, I am whole, I'm perfect just as I am. I don't need that external validation to make me feel that I am enough, that I am whole. And it wasn't until I began to resource this within my own being, and a lot of this stemmed from self-inquiry, as I just discussed, but also from doing the breath work and really that experience of yourself in this new way, which is what the breath work helps us to do. It helps us to break free of these walls, boundaries we've built within our own mind, and really experience the essence of who we are. And once we experience that essence, that truth of our being, that enoughness, it was like I would start laughing within the breath work. So I was like, how can I be like any less than whole? I just like felt my perfection of just being exactly as I was. And it's like that experience of ourself on a new level, that's what's really creates this lasting change. So the breath work also helps to create, like, reform these new neural pathways within the brain, because we have the experience of ourself on a new level. It's not just this mental knowingness. It's it's experience and embodiment on this new level. So I'd love to get curious with anyone who is here on the call today. And as I just spoke about this, is there anything that's coming up for you that you feel is blocking you from what you really want? Maybe you notice some self-sabotaging behavior within your life, or some patterns or habits that just keep repeating, that are not in alignment with what it is that you truly want. And if you'd be willing to share any of this in the chat, we'd love to walk you through this process a little bit, and we can walk through with whoever is here and open to share. Yeah, so I saw Rach said the self-sabotaging behavior is procrastination. And so I invite you to even close your eyes and just take a moment to feel into a time where you really wanted to step in, you really wanted to take action, but this procrastination came in, flowed in, and yeah, and Paula says overwhelm, or where you really felt this sense of overwhelm, feeling it in your body. Is there any thoughts that are associated with before you take this action? Like, if you were to ham it up, what's this voice saying? Like, if you were about to take action on something, but then you just feel this overwhelm, like, what does this voice sound like? Maybe it's like, oh, it's too much for me. I don't have clarity. I should just do this instead. What is the voice saying? Really ham up this voice in your head that plays out before you fall into this pattern.
Maybe with procrastination, it's, I can do this later. There's another time, a better time to do this. So we can get in the pattern of pushing off the things that actually move us forwards towards what we truly desire. And then tuning back in, just really feeling it in your body and getting curious. What is the deeper desire that this block really wants for you? So how is procrastination serving you? If you were to show up, if you were to move forward and not procrastinate, what's the opposite of that? If you were to do that, what might happen? Is there a fear? Is there a fear behind this? Fear of failure.
Fear of failure. And then get curious with that. What does it mean about me if I fail? If I were to fail, what does that mean about me? What's the story my mind is creating about this perceived failure? What is failure? So maybe if you were to fail, the story is maybe similar along the lines of mine, that there's this lack of feeling enough just as you are. Or maybe there's a fear of safety, that you might not be able to provide for yourself and for your family, or that if you fail, you might be rejected. And if you're rejected, what does that mean?
Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough. Yeah, and so that's a good example that you can begin to work with. So maybe if you really dive down, you want to dive into, like, really what is that underlying fear, and then within this process, you begin to, we'll dive into it more in the breath work, but can you resource that feeling of enoughness within your being? And it's like the moment this pattern of overwhelm, of distraction comes up, can you take a moment to just breathe and to resource what it is that you really need within yourself? Really like tune in with that feeling of enoughness. And then you move through with that inspired action. You take the action, and it's with that awareness that what's causing the block that we can begin to work through it. And so that's what we're going to do today. So whatever is coming up for you, I invite you to set that as your intention for our breathwork journey.
Yeah, and self-inquiry is so powerful. And it really is like a self-inquiry through this compassionate lens. And when we do go into the breath work, it opens up that space where we get out of beta brainwave, we slow down our brainwaves, and we get into this theta meditative state where we're much more receptive and listen to that inner guidance, that has this deeper, the knowingness, the truth, that lies underneath. And we really start to see how all of these perceived blocks are actually trying to help us, and they're trying to protect us. And at some time in our life, they served a purpose. And just that acknowledgement and that recognition that this isn't out to get me, this isn't actually blocking me, this is actually a portal. And if I can just look at it and see that it was actually trying to protect me, almost like this, and from our inner child, and embracing this block and being like, oh, wow, I see how this is trying to keep me safe, because, if I step to my next level of service, I might let other people down, and then tuning into the association of how have I coupled my self-worth, with what I do and with what I create, with the actions that I produce. Like, is your worthiness actually attached to that? Or is it intrinsic, and and then feeling that. And when we breathe in and do this breath work, it's like we start to, like Kelly said so beautifully, as the energy starts to loosen up and you start to feel that truth, in your body. When you feel your essence, you have the embodied recognition, that I could never be, actually, I am not that, that is just a story that I've been telling myself that has served me at one point, but I'm ready to rewrite that. I'm ready to reframe the way that I'm looking at this and see the opportunity that lies within it. And so we can transform these blocks as portals of possibilities. As we open up these portals within our body, within our channels, we remove that stagnation, we actually increase and turn up the dial of our inner awareness. And naturally, as we turn up the dial and become more aware, of what is within, we actually start to this naturally leads to a deeper sense of trust. So also what keeps our blocks, stored in our body, or these stories, is this inherent underlying layer of not trusting life, not trusting what's being presented to us, not trusting reality as it is, and not trusting our body. So when we can start to have more of a fine tuning of this awareness through breathwork, has been one of the most amazing tools for us to kind of create that sacred space within, to listen, to inquire, to hear the voice that's always speaking to us, that deeper truth. And then that truth starts to enable us to trust. And that creates just this slight openness and relaxing of our nervous system to allow what has been, imagine it just like being held like a fist, it starts to open when we breathe our love, our compassion, and our awareness, into that area. And then, using that power of visualization, like Kelly said, to tell ourselves the truth of what we truly desire. And I can give a short example of on an actual like habitual level of what I was stuck in, and that kind of relates to the procrastination and feeling of overwhelm is was in a pattern of completing everything 80%. And it was like I had all of these great ideas. I would do it, and then so it was a form of procrastination because I never actually finished what I started, but I was busy all the time. So I felt like I was like making it seem like I was being productive, but I actually wasn't opening the doors. I never actually opened the door so that I could connect with who I needed to connect with. So I could open the door for that new opportunity that I truly desired that would, align me with my values of being of service, of that joy of being of service, and and the freedom that actually I was really craving more freedom. That's one of my values. But I had written a story that if I actually, opened the doors, the tasks that I was working on, that this would actually create overwhelm, because I would step into a new level of service, and it would actually restrict my freedom, and that I would have less time. And this was based on the old way that I was working, in my old job. I was always busying myself, and that so this pattern, it was actually a fear of that if I actually started and engaging with the people that I truly wanted, that this would restrict my time and restrict my freedom. But that wasn't true. And when I started to go into the visualization and connecting with the people that I wanted to serve, and I saw them in front of me, and I connected in my heart, and I started breathing like we were breathing together and receiving all of this, what I could share and my gifts and my values, then I started to see that story wasn't actually true. And that by opening these doors, I was actually going to do more of what I loved, and would be doing less busy work that was just busying my time, by just taking the empowered action steps that actually were very strategic in connecting me energetically with who I needed, by being more clear about that. And then slowly, when I shifted that inside of me, and I felt that as that was the actual truth, then everything just started to flow. And it was like the energetic shift within me then also led to the shift in my lens of perception and my behavior and my actions that followed that. Rich says that sounds familiar. And it is. Procrastination is a big one, and that also was causing, Paula mentioned, overwhelm, because I felt overwhelmed a lot. I'm like, why? I'm doing all of these things, but I'm not actually getting anywhere. Because it was actually a trick of the mind, that busy means productive, but that's like an old kind of paradigm way of working. And so it's so amazing when we can come inside and work at it, when we slow down our brain waves, really look at it through this expanded lens. And as we use our breath to open our channels with this heightened sense of awareness and deep listening, the answers will come through.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you really look at it, usually the block of how it's trying to protect you is actually creating within your life the exact thing that you fear.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get really curious with it, so for example, go back to my example that I shared with you earlier, there's this fear of rejection. There's this fear of rejection, which would lead to a lack of connection. But by me not showing up as my authentic self, I was naturally creating this disconnection within my life, because I wasn't attracting the people that were like my tribe, that I was meant to attract with my exact energy. And so I was actually putting up walls because I was afraid of being rejected. So I'd put up walls, and that naturally created separation. It's created disconnect. So it's like looking at your block, and how is it? Usually it's actually creating the exact thing that you fear. And so as Patty said, getting this schedule, getting organized, and all of these things, how is that was actually creating the sense of overwhelm within our life. It was creating that lack of freedom because of this block. And so really when we begin to move through it, we can begin to see it with this acceptance, and begin to retrain our subconscious, which there's also this power, not only with the breath work, but with the visualization as well, because visualization your mind doesn't know the difference between a visualized visualized experience that is felt within your body versus an actual experience. And there's been lots of studies shown on visualization and how it alone can actually form new neural pathways within the brain. And it almost tricks your subconscious mind to think, oh, I've done this before. I can do this. If you visualize it again and again and again, whatever it is that you fear, the opposite of that, and visualize really stepping into that energy, embodying that energy, it's like your subconscious mind, then it shows your subconscious that that you can do it. And it as Patty talked about, it creates this sense of trust.
Yeah. And also for those of you, if there's anyone on the call after, we've been guiding this visualization journey for over 2 years. And what I've recognized is that a large portion, one of their top innate gifts is visualization, but there's also a large portion that their sense where they, let's say, bring forth and attune to a visual, it actually comes from a different sense. So it isn't actually coming from the mind's eye. You're not actually, you can also, if you say, I'm listening to my voice, but I'm not seeing visuals, like that's okay, because maybe you're more kinesthetic. Like that's, for me, I am. And so when I hear my voice, there's certain tones that I'm more attuned to, and there's certain frequencies that when it hits that yes, my body says yes, my cells say yes, I get goosebumps all over and I can feel it fluttering, in my heart. So even if you don't have a clear vision, like that's okay. Your body that's also why this process is so beautiful, because you start to learn the language of your body, and our body is communicating us with each of us in our own unique way. I have a friend who, she said her meditation is going into nature. When she listens to the water, she can hear all the different frequencies of the water, all the different tones, and that they provide healing, for her body. And it was so beautiful. It gave me goosebumps actually when she told me it, because it was such deep truth. And it just makes me realize I've been after, hearing all these different perspectives from people of, our innate intelligence within us is always trying to communicate with us and connect with us. And this could be through sound. This could be through subtle vibrations, what parts of our body are lighting up for us. Or they could be very beautiful and clear visualizations. But just notice and be curious that there is no right way. It's just learning what way and which language your body is communicating with you, and that you can trust that. And that inherent trust, coming back to that, is such a precursor for relaxing our nervous system, and this trust opens the door to this heightened level of awareness, of what is available to us, what opportunities lie ahead for us, the way through our blocks when we are relaxed in this sense of awareness rather than tight, and resisting. So building this relationship with our inner intelligence and our inner wisdom as an inner guidance system is like a new way of walking and living life that is so powerful. And it's not taught, in school. It's something that we go within and we teach ourselves. Yes. So should we move into the breath work? Yeah, let's do that. Yes, so today we're going to be using, there's many different styles of breath. Let me just tune in see if anyone's. Hi, Paula. Thank you everyone again for joining. We're just like, we feel all of you here, and breathwork is so beautiful to do together as a group. And even as we go through this journey today, we're going to be playing some music, breathing in a rhythm. You're going to be guided by the rhythm of the music and by our voices. So everything that I, explain of why we're doing this and the process, you can just rest and know that you're going to be guided in the track. But it's so beautiful that when we come together and we breathe together, because what we're breathing in and receiving for ourselves, for ourselves, we're also exhaling and giving back to the group in this beautiful process, this natural flow of abundance tuning in, just like with nature, breathing in and breathing out with the trees. You can imagine maybe that visual of, why we're all here for a specific reason, to be each other's medicine. It's one of my favorite parts about group breathwork sessions. Especially now, if we can't all be together, we can still breathe together no matter where we are, on the planet. So today, this journey is really, we're going to be using sound and some self-inquiry questions while we're breathing, to really expand and open up portals for deeper awareness, deeper trust, and a deeper sense of surrender, that as we start to breathe and open, like our breath is like this portal, this initiation point for our awareness within, that starts to really bridge the gap between our intelligence, our innate, our thinking mind, and our inner guidance system. So we're going on this journey, of self-discovery, and there really is nothing to do today, but I invite you to just trust whatever arises, whether it's a sensation or a feeling or an image. It's approaching everything through this kind of relaxed, childlike curiosity. And I had put a visual of, like, you're a child and you're walking through the woods and you find this abandoned house, and it's kind of scary, but you want to go and you're curious to explore what's inside. So today we're kind of going to approach, our inner canvas as we're just like a little child, being curious, and as we breathe, seeing what arises for us and there's some self-inquiry questions that you're going to hear. And if they resonate for you, receive them. And if not, just stay inside of your own process. And so we will be doing a short meditation to start with, to just get you into a relaxed state. And then we'll be doing 4 rounds of breath work. And the breath work is going to be a breathing in through the nose. And we'll have Kelly show you, and out through the mouth in a smooth and relaxed rhythm. And as you breathe in, it's to have your belly rise first, if you can, if you have that capacity. But the focus is on keeping the rhythm. So finding that smooth and connected flow. There'll be a rhythm of music, and you're just allowing yourself to fall into this smooth, connected, rhythmical breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll be doing this for about 4 minutes each round. And then you'll hear a voice say, now take a deep breath in. And you're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, fully filling your lungs. And then fully exhale, allowing the breath to fall out of the body, emptying the lungs and holding in the space between. And you're just falling into this witnessing state. There's so much power and stillness, and power in the vastness that lies in between our breaths. And you're going to hold here until your body gives you a signal that it's time to breathe in. And then you're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs, holding, rising, and have an inner smile, and hold for a couple moments and then relax. And return back to normal breathing before the next round. And we're going to do 4 rounds of this today. And this is just an opening. Every breath is an invitation to receive exactly the medicine, exactly the wisdom that is available for you in this moment. And on the exhale, it's an invitation to release, anything that's no longer needed. And by just being and just allowing yourself to connect with, exactly as you are, the innate intelligence within you will move and clear and open exactly what you need. And it's just a process of learning that we can trust that.
Beautiful. Yes. I always say go into the journey. You can go in with an intention, but also let go of any expectations of what you expect to arise. And this just opens us up for the innate intelligence within to flow through, and we will get the exact message we're meant to receive. And just one thing I wanted to mention in the breathwork track, we mentioned contracting the muscles of your root on the inhale hold. So when you're holding the breath in, so the muscles of your root are simply those muscles at your base, your pelvic floor. It's like you can imagine, it's like you're drawing all of this energy that you've created through the breath, rising it up the spine. So this just helps to rise the energy up. So this is what we mean when we say the root lock for anyone that is new and hasn't tried this form of breath work before. And don't worry, you don't need to remember. All you need to do is listen to the guidance within the track. There's one round that's slightly different than what was described. So just listen and just be like invite this like playfulness with it, and drop out of the mind and into really this feeling within the body. Are there any questions before we dive into the breathwork piece? You can write it in the chat. Otherwise, we will dive right in. The journey is only about, I think it's about 30 minutes exactly. We'll put on some fractals as well. So if you have a hard time, relaxing, you can observe, but I recommend doing the journey actually with closed eyes, and really going within.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Martha. Just wanted to say hi.
Hello.
For anyone joining us a little bit late.
And you can sit down or lie down. Either one is perfect. They're just different. If you're new to breath work, sometimes it's easier to lie down so you can really fill the lungs and breathe deep into the lower abdomen, like getting that almost like a wave washing up through the chest. In a seated position helps the energy to flow just a little bit differently. So explore, you can move, find what feels best for your body. There's no right or wrong. And if you are seated, just make sure you're seated somewhere where you're stable, not on a stool where you can fall or anything. And there's just a couple contraindications with the breath holds only. So this rhythmical breathing is safe and healthy for everyone. But with the holding with empty lungs, it's not recommended to do for anyone with any serious heart conditions, cardiac arrhythmia, if you are pregnant, if you have tinnitus. This is one of the contraindications as well. And
if you've had a recent stroke, recent surgery, or if you're pregnant.
Okay.
And I just want to mention one more thing on today's topic. We're moving through resistance, and the breath is such a beautiful way to help us move gracefully, through resistance. So if there is anything that arises, to use by simply placing our awareness in that area, we send our breath there, and you can send your breath into that area with your love, like with an inner smile, with compassion, and just, even if it's been a part of you that you've been rejecting, or it's been uncomfortable, or it hurts, to really use this breath work just as a playground for embracing everything that arises exactly as it is. And by gifting that area, or that thought, or that whatever, that emotion, if you feel a layer of contraction in your being, in pain, just to breathe into it and to tell it that you trust it. Like, I trust you, and see what that opens up for you. Sometimes it's almost too simple that we talk ourselves out of the simple things, but it's just saying the things that all of our cells are always listening. So to whisper what your medicine to your body is so powerful.
Okay, enjoy. We'll connect back here after the journey.
And if you have headphones, this is great to do with headphones. And if not, that's okay as well. Just relax, find your space, and enjoy.
wondrous dance.
Zoom turned
Our breath offers a gentle We are all in a wondrous dance, flowing between moments of contraction and expansion throughout our life. Our breath offers a gentle massaging of our inner spaces, allowing for a deeper connection to our essential nature and unity with the full spectrum of our existence. Conscious, rhythmic breathing to melodic waves relaxes our nervous system so we may feel more deeply and live more fully in each moment. Like a dancer, our breath flows through our inner rivers, clearing the path for the creative flow of life force to be expressed. We will be moving through cycles of rhythmic flow and periods of self-imposed resistance. Slowly, you will learn how to relax into the body's primitive response to stress, and slowly learn to witness the storms of the mind from a place of peace and tranquility. May this practice follow you out into your daily life, providing a clearer perspective as you move and dance through life. Flow in, allowing the breath in to move freely in as you open out and naturally in, release out. soft. In. Every breath. Out. In. Out. And taking a full inhale through your nose. And allow the breath to leave the body, fully exhaling and relaxing into the void space between breaths. Resting in a sacred pause to listen. What I need to remember is and when your body prompts you to breathe in, allow in your sacred life force in through the nose, expanding and opening up. Hold on the inhale with an inner smile, embracing all that is present with compassion. And then exhale with a tone, massage your body with sound. And return back to your normal breathing rhythm and ask what my inner guidance system wants me to know is. And finding out smooth and connected flow.
Perfect.
Out. In. Imagine. Out. In your sacred life force. Out. In. Flowing. Out. In.
Perfect.
Like a river. In. Throughout your entire body. Out. In. Each breath. In. Opening all the channels. In. Out. In. For creativity. Out. And insight. Out. To flow. In.
Perfect.
Out. In. Each breath. Out. Creating space. Out. In. For your unique genius. In. Out. To awake. In. Out. In. Out. Naturally. In. Receiving. Out. And releasing. Out. Offering what's no longer needed back to the earth. In.
Yeah.
Out. In. And as out. In. I need to remember most is in. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Feeling in. Capacity to receive. Out. In. So beautifully illustrated by your breath. In. Out. In. Out. In. Around and around. In. Supportive, ever-flowing cycle of life. Out. In.
Okay.
Out. In. Out. to remember most is in,
Yeah.
out, in,
Perfect, perfect.
out, in. Receiving your wisdom out with every breath. In, out, in, out. That's it. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Taking a full inhale through your nose and allow the breath to leave the body, fully exhaling and relaxing into the void space between breaths. Resting in a sacred pause to listen. What I need to remember is, and when your body prompts you to breathe in, allow in your sacred life force in through the nose, expanding and opening up. Hold on the inhale with an inner smile, embracing all that is present with compassion. And then exhale with a tone, massage your body with sound. Returning back to your normal breathing rhythm, and ask what my inner guidance wants me to know is, listen. Preparing for the next round of receiving and releasing the breath. In a smooth, steady rhythm. Inviting each breath to move and dance every exhale, letting go. Taking a deep breath in, filling the lungs, feeling that full expansion, squeezing the muscles of the roots. Feel yourself reigniting this spark within you, this inner fire, fueled by your passion, your inspiration, your love. Feel this light expanding beyond your body. Exhale, releasing the breath as we move into our final round. Finding a smooth and steady rhythm. Each breath fueling this inner fire. In, grows stronger, bigger. In, out. Feel its warmth, its power. In, out. In, out. In, out. This fire has the ability to transform in releasing what you no longer need to the fire, letting go with ease. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. In, Squeeze, draw the energy up and release. Exhale, emptying the lungs and holding here. Relax, soften, allow. Feel the radiance of your own being. Take a deep breath in, filling the lungs. Squeeze, rising this energy up. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Embody this energy. What are you calling into your life? Feel yourself as the emanation of that which you seek. Letting go with a sigh, relax. What does your inner guidance want you to know right now? Open yourself to receive this wisdom. Remember, everything you seek is within you. Now simply relax and receive these words into your heart.
The light and love of divine healing floods into you now. Harmony and wholeness now becomes you. welcome love. I welcome harmony. I welcome all of the beautiful things that are meant for me. I welcome light. Let it surround me. Grounded and rooted in the earth, we align with the highest frequency. And when the dark clouds come over me, it gets hard. Feels like I can't breathe. I rise higher than I've ever been. I look within and listen. You are supported and guided by the higher angelic realms. May you continue to remember throughout all moments. I welcome joy. I welcome destiny. I welcome all of the beautiful things that are meant for me. I welcome peace. I welcome unity. I rise up in line with the highest frequency. When the dark clouds come over me, it gets hard. I feel like I can't breathe. I rise higher than I've ever been. I look within and listen. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. I am enough. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. I am enough. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. Not getting old. Not getting light with the highest frequency. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. I am enough. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. I am enough. The highest frequency is love. I breathe it in. I am enough. Align with the highest frequency. I welcome unity. I welcome all of the beautiful, wonderful, glorious things life has in store for me. Your reality has shifted. Yes, I rise up. I rise up. I rise up. Align with the highest frequency. Your external reality will now reflect this inner wisdom. Oh, align with the highest frequency. Divinity has taken course. And so it is.
Inviting in some gentle movement, feeling back into your body, back into the room, into the space. And in your own time, you can rejoin us whenever you're ready. I saw a comment that it was cutting out, so I hope it wasn't cutting out the whole time. But yeah, I would love to, if anyone's open to share, just how are you feeling now? What came through? If there's anything at all you want to share, we'd love to hear in the chat box. but also taking your time if you need to rest into the space that you're in, giving yourself the time and space you need.
And this is while we're all coming back and integrating. Paula says she feels amazing. Good to hear. This is a practice, a breathwork tool that we used, in our 3-month Soul Path Accelerator course. And it's a foundational tool, meaning we do it really in trying to integrate a daily practice of breath, because it really does help to build the fertile soil for a deeper sense of peace, within our being. So oftentimes right now we're living in, there's a lot of stress stimulus outside of us. And so many people I've met are living actually in a low grade state of chronic stress without even being aware, because we get so used to it. We're so used to kind of this slight tightness, in our system. And that constricts our freedom, our ability to really feel and embrace the full spectrum of our emotional system, of life, to feel the richness. So we use the breath to slowly peel back the layers through self-inquiry, relaxing and unwinding the nervous system. And this really promotes not only greater mental clarity, greater, healing and relaxation within the body, our ability to release, stagnant emotions that keep us, stuck, energetic habit patterns. It's a really natural release of trauma that can be smooth and relaxed, and it also helps us to expand our lens when we're in this state, so we can reframe the way we're looking at our challenges or things that we're facing, in our external world or in our past. We start to see from this more embodied lens of our essence as we slowly clear out that lens of perception. And you'll notice when in your normal day-to-day life, you start to actually be more present, more aware, more conscious, and can live a more intentional life from the present moment, which is so beautiful and so freeing when we're no longer living from a projection from the past. So breathwork is such a beautiful tool to really start to, especially when you do it with repetition daily for a prolonged period of time, it really creates the grounds for lasting transformation on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level as we come back, into our wholeness.
Yeah, I like to imagine it like it's almost like you're like forming these new pathways within the brain, these new habits and patterns of like in alignment with our highest potential. And it's almost like the ski slopes are when you go skiing, it's like you again and again, and it becomes deeper and deeper, more ingrained until that becomes our natural baseline. And so these 2 days, during this vision quest, we're so grateful for everyone that joined, and this was really just touching the surface. This was the introduction to some of these tools that have really transformed our own lives, and as we've watched as these tools have transformed the lives of many others as we've run these group programs for the past couple of years, incorporating the breath work in with the mindset work, in with those shifts, working on the emotional level as well, working on all aspects of the being, and then integrating that with the support system. Really, week after week, you have this sense of community and this sense of support. So we're growing through it together. And so that really is what our Soul Path Accelerator is it's tuning in with that soul vision and then bringing it to life over these 3 months with the support of community and with the help of the intuitive roadmap to get there, while creating that inner resonance, so we don't get stuck in those old habits and patterns. And so it really is this matter of, as Patty said, this repetition and choosing this as our baseline. So as a gift for anyone who joined this challenge, whether you're here live with us or you're watching the replay, for the next 24 hours, we're offering this special, we're doing a prize for one winner. So you can go to the website where to download the tool, as Patty mentioned in the beginning. For anyone who didn't hear this in the beginning, you can can, when you download the tool, it'll enter you automatically to for the chance to win 50% off this 3-month program. So if this is something you're interested in, go ahead, hop over there. The link is, we can throw the link in the chat again, and we'll announce the winner within 48 hours. So we're super grateful that you're here, and some feedback's flowing in.
Yeah, I have Tracy saying it's a great way to end a busy day full of light and renewed energy. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you, Tracy. So happy to have all of your energy here. You're all giving and receiving as well to each other. And Patty said she had an amazing release of emotions and energy. And that just shows, it's like when we just enter into that state of receptivity, open ourselves up to the natural flow of our breath as like this guide, you know, and be soft with ourselves, be open to what comes through. You know, our body's intelligence will naturally clear out the old so we can breathe in the new. And it's such a beautiful and easy, and I like to think of it as this feminine way of, you know, of kind of pruning a tree, of shedding what the branches, you know, nature naturally does that. And when we enter into that state of, you know, of receptivity, of openness, of allowance, and deepening into this trust of our body, you know, and really trusting what arises rather than having that aversion. You know, this beautiful energy just wants to move anyways. The energy, stagnant energy, it wants to transcend, it wants to transmute. And when we do this, we actually liberate the energy into more of our creative energy, which then we can use to bring forth and infuse, you know, to take into the world towards our dreams and take these, you know, intuitive actions, inspired actions that naturally will start to arise, you know, from the breath work. So we have this clear vision that we created, but our approach really also integrates the space for the intuitive guidance to come through and be spoken, you know, each day, so that we can start to see the signs and see what is calling to emerge as this path starts to unfold, you know, in front of us as we deepen our connection with ourselves. So thank you for the feedback, everyone. Martha, also beautiful. Lovely to have all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So some takeaways from today would be to, if the breath work feels good for you, it feels like a good way to continue to move through this process, we encourage you to incorporate this into even a daily practice, doing it maybe first thing in the morning, even 10-15 minutes, just to create how you want to feel from within, and then carry that energy throughout the day, rather than being victim to the external circumstance that flow in, and allow that to control how we feel. And working with these blocks as they arise. I invite you to call in this self-inquiry and get curious with them, get curious with acceptance, and really looking at what's that deeper desire underneath this habit or this pattern of behavior, and can I self-resource that? And so there's a tool that you can download, as we talked about, the Challenge Transformer. So this walks through, it's either maybe a challenge you've grown through within the past and looking at it through this new lens, this new inspired lens, or also you can use it for a current challenge you're facing and looking at what is this trying to teach me? What's the lesson here? What is the lesson this experience is trying to help me to grow through? Because every circumstance, even as challenging as they may seem, are here on our specific path, whatever your specific path is, for a reason to help you to grow. And so looking at it from that lens, and with this more loving acceptance of it, and say, thank you for the lessons. I see clearly now, and allowing that to create that shift, rather than meeting it with the resistance of, I don't want this. How do I push this away? Because as we all know, what we resist persists, and that is what perpetuates the pattern.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it's finding, if you can, appreciation. You know, it's easy to think of things we're grateful for, you know, that are benefiting us, or that are nice and feel good, but it's really powerful when we can find appreciation for even our toughest challenges. And that subtle shift of energy opens and relaxes our nervous system. It seems so simple, but it creates new openness of mind, new openness in emotions, new openness in body, as we start to befriend and make friends with our entire journey, and realizing the wholeness of it, the everything, is serving us. When we start to see and look for ways to prove that from that belief that everything, is helping me, and seeing every challenge right when you get into it, instead of it's why me, it becomes an new auto belief or auto habit that says, wow, how is this empowering me? What has life brought to me on my doorstep right now? And how can I move into it and get curious? And just that sense of rather than rejection and aversion really just opens us up to life, so that life can really be our teacher. That is what, in every moment is a teachable moment. Every moment we can mine new wisdom. So seeing life as your wisdom teacher this week, every challenge, or if someone, isn't kind to you, to even just find that way to just appreciate that, find appreciation for it, and just see how that shifts your feelings, in your body and how you move throughout your day.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being part of this group, and let's hope to stay connected or see you within the 3-month program. We're here to support you, so always feel free to reach out, and we look forward to connecting soon.
Bye.
Bye.